Are you considering going to Barcelona? Here's what you need to know before you go. So how exciting! You are finally planning your trip to Barcelona, but there's a lot of information out there. So here's what you need to know before you go to Barcelona. Welcome back to the Traveling Cheesehead. My name is Michelle, and on this channel, I share travel planning tips, vlogs, reviews, and recommendations for all of the places that I've been so that you can save time, money, and headaches on your travels. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the things that I wish I would have known before I went to Barcelona. So the first thing I wish I would have known about Barcelona before going is just the transportation in general. Now, we stayed outside of the city, and I wish I would have known that the regional trains stop running at 8:30 at night. So we had to be on the train by 8:30 every single night. It cut our days a little short, and it really had to be creative with our itinerary to make that work so we could experience the city as much as we wanted to. Now, if you're staying inside the city and you're flying into Barcelona Airport, there are some options for you to get from the airport into the city, but the best one and the easiest one is actually the metro train. The Renfe train will take you straight from the Barcelona Airport into 3 different stops in the city, and depending on where your accommodation is, you're just going to pick the stop that's closest and then either walk to your accommodation or you're going to pick up a taxi cab or transfer to the metro system to get to your stop. I'll put a link below with all the information about how to get from the airport into the center of the city using the Renfe trains. All right, the next thing I wish I would have known a little bit better is the city layout. Now, most of your sites are going to be within Elborn and Barcelona. And those two are very much connected. They really make up the old town. So most of the sites that you're going to go see are there, but you need to also know that some of the major sites that you might be interested in seeing are outside of those zones. So like La Sagrada Familia, the Block of Discord, Park Guell, Monjuic, and the Magic Fountain, those are all outside of that center. And you're going to need to make sure that you plan your itinerary accordingly so you're not wasting time running all over town. The other thing that you need to know about the layout is that Barcelona and Elborn are very walkable. These are not areas that you're going to be driving in because most of the time there is not any vehicle traffic, it's all pedestrian traffic. So wear your good walking shoes because you're going to do a ton of walking in these 2 areas. The next thing I wish I would have known a little bit more about before going is the safety and security issue. Now, I will say there is information out there about Barcelona being the pickpocket capital of the world. And if you're like me, that caused some concern. What I will say is that my husband and I never felt unsafe when we were in the city, but we also were aware of the fact that this is the pickpocket capital. So we took some simple safety precautions when we were traveling. We only carried minimal amount of cash. We only carried 1 credit card, and we carried bags that were anti-theft. So they locked and things like that. We also very much kept an eye on our surroundings. We were very aware of who was around us, who was watching us. This didn't mean that we didn't enjoy our time, and this didn't mean that we were constantly on edge, but we always paid attention. We always made sure we understood when somebody was watching us, or if we felt like somebody was following us, we would just stop for a second or dart into a store real quick. The point is, we never felt unsafe. But that doesn't mean you should let your guard down. And this goes for anywhere you travel. If you are oblivious of your surroundings, you're likely to become a target. If you are more aware of your surroundings, you're less likely to become a target. All right, the other thing that I learned, and I'm glad that I did my research on before I went, but you're going to want to know before you go, is what tickets you need to purchase before you get to Barcelona. Now, Barcelona is one of the top tourist cities in the entire world, and therefore it draws a huge amount of tourists. And the major sites in that city draw a ton of tourists. So you're talking La Sagrada Familia, you need to get your tickets ahead of time if you plan on visiting the inside of that cathedral, which I absolutely recommend. It's beautiful. I'll give you a full recap of my visit in another video coming up. There are many ticket options and they're all timed entries. If you don't have a ticket, you're not going to get one. It needs to be booked usually a couple weeks in advance so that you get the date and time that you want. I will recommend going in the afternoon because of the way the sun hits the stained glass windows. It's incredible. Another ticket you're going to need to buy before you go is your Park Guell Monument Zone timed entry ticket. That also has very limited availability, but you need to book it in advance. Once you have your ticket, you have a 30-minute window to enter with your timed ticket. So another thing that I learned more about while I was in Barcelona that you might just want to be aware of is that there's a great deal of political tension with Barcelona and the rest of Spain. Catalonia, which is the state that Barcelona is the capital of, resides inside of Spain. However, there is a lot of political tension with the state of Catalonia and the rest of Spain. And there tends to be some protests that happen throughout the day in different areas of the city. Again, never felt unsafe, just something to be aware of. So Spain is known for their food markets, but don't be afraid to explore markets outside of La Boqueria. La Boqueria is right on Las Ramblas, which is in the center of the tourist area of Barcelona. Therefore, it gets very crowded, the prices are higher, and the food, while very good, might not be as good as other markets. If you want a true Barcelonian experience, you're going to want to go outside of that area and explore some of the neighborhood markets. There are two in particular that are nearby the area that you're going to be exploring of the Old Town. The first one is Santa Caterina, which is just north of Elborn. And they are a very cool market. They have actually Roman ruins below them, which is kind of neat. But there's a ton of really cool food stalls in there, very local, very quiet. You get to really talk to the locals and kind of get to know a little bit more about their lifestyle, and you get to ask a little bit about their business and how long they've been there. It was a very nice experience for us to visit that market. Another market is in the Barceloneta community, and it is the Barceloneta Market. And this one as well is much quieter. It's mostly local people, but they again have great food stalls. So another thing I learned while I was there was how many Roman ruins are hidden in Barcelona. I had no idea that so many Roman ruins were there. Yes, now when I think about it with my history books, of course, Rome ruled that area of the world as well, but it never crossed my mind that they would have all these Roman structures. So there are some really cool ones hidden throughout, and I'll put some links below for directions on how to find them. But definitely check out the Roman ruins in Barcelona. It's a really cool experience. All right, the last little piece of advice, thing that you need to know before you go, is know what things are in which neighborhoods. So I say this because I made the mistake. I was searching for this one restaurant that I had in my head was in Barri Gothic. After searching the entire day, going round and round in circles, high and low, I discover it's in Elborn. So needless to say, we spent a lot of time wandering the streets of Barri Gothic. Now, don't get me wrong, we enjoyed ourselves. We found lots of stuff and explored, but it took us all day to find this one little restaurant. So know which neighborhood the things are in before you go and explore for them. The main reason is because Barri Gothic and Elborn, they look very similar. It's very easy to be confused as to which neighborhood you're actually in unless you start knowing some of the sites and which neighborhood they're in. So that is a huge tip because I learned the hard way. And I was darn tired by the end of that day. What else would you like to know before you go to Barcelona? I'd love to hear your comments below. If you found this information helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to watch my entire series on Barcelona here. I thank you for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell, because I have new videos coming out every single week and you don't want to miss a thing. Thank you for watching again on the Traveling Cheesehead, and until next time, travel safe.